To make the flowers, I'm using this dye from Eileen Hull along with my Sizzix Big Shot and Kunin Felt. I'm using some of their Eco-Fi Classic Felt. And Aqua, Pumpkin Spice, and Prickly Purple are the colors that I'm using. Cut the felt into squares to fit each of the flowers on the die. I cut 4 of each of the 3 flowers from each of the 3 shades of felt. I wanted to give the prickly purple flowers a bit of a subtle pattern, and to do that I'm using DecoArt's Americana Multi-Surface Satin Paint in Almond. I put a little bit onto a color sponge and then lightly applied it to the Judican Swirly Feather stamp. I stamped each flower, repeating applying the paint until each of them was covered with the pattern. To make the garland that I attached to the banner for the door, I cut a piece of this pom-pom fringe about 36 inches long. The balls on it are about 3/4 of an inch in diameter. I cut every other ball and removed it from the piece of trim, and that gives us room for each of the flowers. Once I had removed every other ball, I began stacking my flowers. As I began layering the flowers, I cut each flower from the outside edge through to the center of the flower. And then I was able to wrap them around the threads that are holding those pom-poms onto the fringe. I added a touch of Beacon's Fabri-Tac to the back of each flower and then began layering them so that each of the flowers has one of each of the 3 different shades of felt that we used. And I alternated the 3 different patterns until I had reached the end of the ribbon. For the background of the banner, I'm using Kunin's Eco-Fi Plus felt that's pre-cut to 12 by 18. That way I don't have to cut it to fit. It's already ready to go. I folded the top edge, the 12-inch side, down about a half an inch, added a little bit of Fabri-Tac, and glued that in place to make a pocket to put the wooden dowel to hang the flag from. You could use stencils to spell out the word for the length of your banner, but I wanted to use this different font. This is called Griffy. I resized my letters so that they would fit the long way on the center of the banner and printed them off. Then I cut out each letter. I placed each one face down onto a piece of Kunin's cashmere Eco-Fi felt. It's embossed felt. It has this great texture that picks up that stamped image on the purple flowers. I traced around each letter with a Sharpie marker and then cut out each letter from the felt. I then cut the floral strip into two pieces and placed it on either side of the banner about an inch from the edge. I aligned my letters as I wanted them to appear centered on the banner and then used the Fabri-Tac to glue the letters in place. After the letters were glued in place, I glued the floral pieces in place and I placed the adhesive onto that blue piece of trim that's holding those pom-poms together. To finish it off just a bit, I wanted to add an embroidered edge, and I used some embroidery floss that matches that pumpkin spice felt and stitched around each of the letters to kind of trim it off and give it a bit more of a decorative touch. Cut the wooden dowel about an inch longer on either side than the banner, so mine is about 14 inches, and place it into that pocket at the top. Then cut a piece of decorative ribbon that matches one of the shades in your banner and tie it to either outside extending edge of that dowel. and then you're ready to hang your banner. I hope you enjoyed this project, and join me next time for Creatively Crafty with Cindi McGee.